ChatGPT said, "Absolutely cowboy hat face, here's your brand new, original Wild West love story. Deeply emotional, cinematic, and completely safe for monetization. Written in your channel's tone and designed to grip listeners from the first line." Title: He thought his newborn wouldn't survive until a young woman offered hope. Wild West love story. Full, 2,000+ words. The wind howled across the Montana plains, scattering snow over the worn cabin that sat alone between two cottonwoods. Inside, a single lamp flickered, casting soft light over a man hunched beside a wooden cradle. Eli Carter, once known across town as a strong rancher with a steady hand, now looked years older. His wife, Clara, had passed just 3 weeks before, during the birth of their first child. What remained was a fragile infant, wrapped in faded blankets, too quiet for comfort. The baby's breathing was faint, her cheeks pale. Eli hadn't slept more than an hour in days, and every time the little girl stirred, he whispered his wife's name, as if she might come back to guide him. But she didn't. And neither did anyone else. The nearest town was miles away, and the ranch hands had moved on for winter. The milk cow had stopped giving, and Eli didn't have the heart or the knowledge to help the baby eat. Every morning, he watched her chest rise and fall and prayed to a God he hadn't spoken to in years. One night, as snow began to fall heavier than before, Eli stood by the door with the child bundled close. He whispered, "Hold on, sweetheart. Pa's gonna find a way." He saddled his horse and rode toward town, the baby pressed against his chest, wrapped in his coat. The wind bit at his face, and his vision blurred from exhaustion and grief. He didn't know what he was searching for. Maybe milk, maybe a miracle. By the time he reached the edge of Pine Hollow, his horse stumbled. Eli barely managed to tie the reins outside the trading post before collapsing to his knees in the snow. The baby whimpered softly. That sound alone kept him conscious. From the porch, a young woman appeared, barefoot, wearing a heavy shawl and holding a lantern. Her name was Anna Grace Dalton, the new schoolteacher who had arrived in town just a month earlier. Folks said she came from back east, quiet and kind but marked by hardship she didn't speak of. When she saw the man in the snow, she gasped, "Sir, are you hurt?" Eli lifted his head weakly. "Please, my baby, she won't eat." Anna's heart clenched. She dropped the lantern, ran to him, and scooped the child into her arms. The baby's skin was cold as ice. "We need to get her warm," Anna said urgently. "Now." Inside the trading post, Anna started a fire. She rubbed the baby's tiny hands and feet, humming softly, a melody from her childhood. Eli sat nearby, trembling, his eyes fixed on his daughter. Anna looked up and saw the pain etched into his face. "She's so small," she whispered. "What's her name?" "Clara," Eli said hoarsely. "After her mama." Anna smiled faintly. "That's a beautiful name." When the baby stirred and began to cry softly, Anna reached for a small bottle she kept in her satchel. "I was caring for a neighbor's infant before I came here," she explained. "I still have some formula left. It's not much, but—" Eli's breath caught. "Please. Anything." Anna mixed the milk gently, warmed it near the fire, and brought the bottle to Clara's lips. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, the baby began to suckle weakly. Tears filled Eli's eyes. He hadn't seen her eat since the day her mother passed. He dropped his hat, pressing his hands to his face. "Thank you," he whispered, voice breaking. "You saved her." Anna smiled softly, her own eyes glistening. "She just needed someone to care for her, Mr. Carter. And so did you." That night, Anna insisted they both stay at the postkeeper's quarters. The storm raged on, and Eli watched as Anna rocked Clara to sleep, humming gently. Something in the way she held the child reminded him of his late wife, tender, patient, full of quiet strength. When morning came, the snow had stopped, and the land glistened white under the sunrise. Eli prepared to leave, but Anna stopped him. "Your ranch is too far. Let me come with you for the baby's sake." He hesitated. "You'd do that?" She nodded. No one should face winter alone, especially not with a newborn. And so they rode back together, Anna behind him on the horse, her arms cradling the infant close. Neither spoke much, but every so often, Eli would glance back at her, and she'd meet his gaze with a soft, reassuring smile. For the first time in weeks, his heart felt something like peace. The days that followed were still hard, but they were no longer empty. Anna helped tend to the baby, cleaned the cabin, and even read aloud by the fire in the evenings. Her voice was gentle, filling the silence that had haunted the home since Clara's passing. Eli, though rough and reserved, began to laugh again, quietly at first, then with warmth that surprised even him. He'd watch Anna from the barn window, her shawl blowing in the wind as she hung laundry, and think maybe God hadn't forgotten him after all. But Anna carried her own pain. One night, as she laid the sleeping baby in her cradle, Eli noticed her wiping away tears. He stepped closer. "What's wrong?" She shook her head. "It's nothing." "Please," he said softly. "Tell me." Anna hesitated, then whispered, "I lost my fiancé 2 years ago. He went west to start a farm. Never came back. I thought coming here would help me forget, but sometimes I still feel like I'm waiting for him." Eli looked at her for a long moment. Then he said quietly, "Seems we both lost more than we planned. But maybe we were meant to help each other find what's left." Anna smiled faintly. Maybe. Winter melted into spring, and the cabin began to feel like a home again. The sound of Clara's laughter filled the air, and Eli often found himself joining in. He built a small porch outside, saying it was for the baby to crawl on when she got older. But Anna knew he just wanted her to have a place to sit in the sun. As weeks turned into months, whispers began to spread through Pine Hollow about the widowed rancher and the gentle schoolteacher living together out on the ridge. Some judged, others smiled knowingly. But Eli didn't care. He had found something worth more than reputation: peace. One evening, after tucking Clara in, he found Anna sitting on the porch steps, watching the sunset. "She's growing strong," Anna said. "You've done a wonderful job, Eli." He shook his head. "We've done it." Silence settled, filled only by the distant call of a meadowlark. Then Eli said quietly, "You know, I used to think the worst pain was losing someone you love, but now I think it's forgetting what love felt like." Anna turned to him, eyes shining in the golden light. "And now," he smiled softly, "now I remember." For a moment, neither moved. Then, slowly, Anna reached for his hand. It was rough, calloused, but warm. He didn't pull away. They sat together as the sun sank behind the mountains, the baby's soft breathing echoing from inside the cabin. The wind carried the scent of pine and earth and spring rain. New beginnings. Years later, folks in Pine Hollow still spoke of the rancher who lost everything and the schoolteacher who came with nothing, but together built something stronger than either imagined. And when Clara grew old enough to ask how her mama and papa met, Eli would smile, glance at Anna, and say, "Your mama didn't just save your life, little one. She saved mine too."